really hurts the public education, unfortunately. Because a lot of kids don't see, like, oh, I don't need to go to college. I can make more money as a valet or, working in these hotels, like that quick money.
Yes.
And so I think a lot of our kids see that, and they don't think, oh, higher education.
I was actually going to say something about that because I completely agree. Because I remember when I was in high school, I went to private school out here, so college prep was the big thing there. But I had friends that went to public schools out here, and it was like if they didn't plan on going to UNLV, it was like, I don't really care about college. Like, I could go work for the casinos and make good money. Like, Nevada, it's cheap to live here. I don't care if I have to live, and I used to always hear those kind of things. And I think that when people kind of make those statistics, they don't really take into consideration the environment that we're in because, we're from Maryland, and in Maryland, it's a lot different because you're by the Capitol, you're in D.C., you see a lot of politicians and lawyers and doctors and stuff like that. So college is basically the goal. Like, everybody's trying to go to college, whether it's Maryland, whether it's, somewhere in Virginia, George Mason, somewhere. But here, it's like, oh, like, I can work.
Well, as we move into that discussion, Principal Marentek, looking at the statistics, according to USA Today, Nevada did rank 50 out of 50. And just looking at some of the proficiency scores.
I thought it was 49, no?
Oh, I guess it's 49.
Mississippi.
Okay. But, all right, so I'll go to 49. But just looking at some of the statistics, just in terms of the 27.4 percentile for reading and 26.1 for math and a 73% graduation rate. What do you attribute that to, just in terms of what's going on in the classrooms? I completely understand that, the environment of Las Vegas is just, it's glitz and glamour and ballet and bottle popping and all that stuff. But while the young people are in the classroom, what do you think it is that is challenging them to be able to perform, I guess, up to the scoring standards of others? And is this something that you're seeing with your colleagues who also are from large urban jurisdictions, or is this kind of a phenomenon, a phenom, if you will?
Yeah, no, I think that my colleagues and I are very aware of what's going on, and I don't know if some of the teachers are keeping up with the fast pacing of, what's changing in our work world and our environment. My son started at a magnet school this year, and everything is done on a computer. I've hardly seen him pick up a pencil most of this school year, and so I just don't know if all of the schools are keeping up with some of those types of changes. When I saw that, I instantly thought about what can I do differently at my school. Right. But it took me also being a parent to see some of those things.
Sure.
So I think that if we don't, get out and see what's going on in other schools and in other counties and other states, it's hard for us to keep up with the curve, for the rest of the United States, which is unfortunately what's keeping us at the bottom of, a lot of these polls.
Sure.
And such.
And Thinbad and I, we are products of the public schools. And so I know Thinbad probably has a couple of questions that he wants to send your way. Thinbad, go ahead.
You don't have a break?
Oh, okay. I guess Thinbad must be having some technical difficulty. But but when you
No, he's here.
Oh, okay. There he is. And
yeah, but I didn't have a whole lot of questions. I was just captivated by what was by the discussion that was happening, and kind of I'm glad we're not focusing on a lot of the behavioral stuff and as well, but it is there. But it's funny how every state that I hear, it's like everyone says they have the worst or bad public school system. I've heard it in Maryland. I hear it in North Carolina. I hear it. You all struggling in Nevada. Everybody can be as bad, but maybe there's some. It seems to be something nationwide in terms of a focus or lack thereof.
Sure.
In terms of what is happening, I know it had been a push for some time. For a while, people were pushing the charter schools, and now you're finding some of those. I think just recently in Baltimore, they closed about 5 or 6 charter schools. So I don't know what the situation is. It's a matter but it definitely needs a focus.
I'm glad you mentioned charter schools, then, Bad, because we need to definitely touch on that. We also have a caller, and I'm going to let this caller, because this caller's been holding for a minute. And caller, are you there with us?
Good. How are you?
Comment by Sinbad, but I wanted to say that and when we start talking about statistics and graduation rates and where our children are going and how well they are prepared, my youngest child just completed a school here in Atlanta in APS, and I'm still looking at graduation rates and comprehension levels, and I truly believe that we have to go back to reading circles and math circles to give our students a firm foundation, because we can graduate them, but they're still not at a level where they can truly have those life skills that we used to get. I'm an old mother, but we used to be. We were taught certain things just in the household, and I would think that teaching is even starting in our homes like it needs to be.
I agree.
So in the greater Atlanta area, I'm sure you all are having some of the same challenges that they're having nationwide. So just in terms of the things that we were discussing, the behavioral issues, also the push of charter schools versus public schools. What is the general consensus in the Georgia area?
Well, I can speak for a lot of my in the Atlanta area. We don't like some don't like charter schools because it takes funds away from the other public schools, and the public schools don't have the autonomy that the charter schools have. That being said, the charter schools aren't necessarily doing better than the public schools. They're held to a different level of accountability. So they don't have to do the things. They don't have to answer to the same laws or rules and regulations that the regular public schools have to.
Wow. Carla, Gina, can you stay on with us? We're going to go to a quick break, but we want to pick up on that, and we want to definitely talk about the charter school versus public school debate, if you will, and we want to cover a couple of other items that are 900-pound gorillas in the room before we get rid of this conversation, before we put it to bed. So,
okay,
alrighty,
I can hold.
So, it appears that the schools are making a great effort to provide quality education. So, when we get back from the break, let's talk more about public schools and if they are a success or a failure. And we're going to pick up with charter schools versus public schools.
You're listening to Straight No Chaser. We'll be right back.
DWI, even at first, it's pretty harsh. You don't realize,
Up to 90 days in jail.
Can't be there for my family.
I'm in here. They're out there.
They put an ignition interlock in your car for 1 year.
Car won't start unless you blow into it.
It's embarrassing.
You gotta pay fees, get a lawyer.
Need to see my probation officer for testing all the time.
Have to pick up garbage.
It literally consumes your life.
I lost my family's trust.
Lost my job.
I lost my marriage.
I lost my kids.
Lost a lot of time, you know? A DWI is just a big waste of time.
Your education is a gift, and you have to use it wisely. It's okay going for extra help, studying by yourself, and using learning skills to develop your knowledge. You have to work hard to be where you want to be in the future. Because at the end of the day, it will pay off. Don't be a fool and not stay in school.
Life changes.
Hey, loser.
Leave me alone.
When a child shares hurtful comments online, that's bullying. Visit erasebullying.ca to learn how to help your child stand up to cyberbullying.
Let's get back to your girl Ambezi, Pastor C, and the Chief as they give it to you straight, no chaser.
Hello. Before we continue our discussion, let's hear a clip from this incident at Douglas High School.
In the 14-second video, words are exchanged before the female student punches the Douglas High chemistry teacher. The student responds, "Don't get smart," an expletive, with me. The teacher responding, "I didn't get smart with you," before following her out of the classroom. The school system says it's investigating what happened. The teachers union says even more must be done.
Of course, I was very angry when I saw that. Because we've asked that there be some kind of support for our teachers, and something needs to happen.
In a statement, city school officials said ensuring a safe teaching and learning environment for our students and staff is paramount to city schools. Upon reviewing the incident, school administrators will apply disciplinary action in accordance with Baltimore City Public Schools Code of Conduct.
So that was a clip from the news story about the incident at Douglas High where a student struck the principal. So what do you think about that, Dad? Because Chief, because don't you know a little bit about Douglas High School?
Yeah, I do. That was my high school. And certainly whenever you see those types of incidents, it's very disturbing. But the thing that's most disturbing is I just can't imagine, and I guess we're showing our age, even thinking about doing something like that against a teacher. That would have you would have received the wrath of everything that's holy and unholy.
Man.
And so
that's right.
That one just I can't even understand it. And I try to look at those things because I know that their young people are coming from a variety of backgrounds and things that are going on in their homes. But that one was just really disturbing to me. And I still have a hard time watching that one.
Yikes. Well, I want to revisit this discussion that we were about to start about the private schools versus the charter schools. So I'm really curious to see what our caller wanted to add and what Principal Morentic had to say, and let's get that started.
So wow.
So Carla, you were indicating earlier that people were looking at charter schools and public schools, that whole debate. Just from your experience in Atlanta, what was your experience in terms of the charter schools and private schools and parochial schools and whatever other label they have?
Well, I can only speak from my experience in watching what happens my children attended public school, and I had the opportunity. Well, they had the opportunity to attend either the charter schools. There was the all girls, the single gender schools that we have. One is